Hey, how's it going, everybody? Jay back with another video. As always, my apologies for lack of recent pit videos and uploads and whatnot. But like I always say, anyone that's been following me for a while now, y'all know my upload schedule is pretty inconsistent. So yeah, these type of videos I get to whenever I get the time or just whenever the idea comes to me. So as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. But yeah, with this video in particular, I mainly, well, as you guys just saw from the little compilation just now, I'm mainly going to be talking about Pit's side B ledge cancel, specifically in disadvantage and its usage in trying to get out of the corner and whatnot, because at this point, Pit's side B ledge cancel is pretty much common knowledge. So I didn't really want to make a whole tutorial on like how to do it and whatnot. I figured I'd just go over one of its applications that I don't really see too often myself personally. And from my experience, it's not that bad of an option to get out the corner. It's an option you don't see too often, so most people don't expect it. And although admittedly from my experience, friends and people that I play against pretty often, I mean I've been experimenting with it, more and more often now, so they've just been catching on to it and punishing me for that, which is another thing I'll go over later in the video. There are definitely cons to it, because side B even in the air is pretty slow, so it can still be pretty telegraphed, but at the same time, it's still not a bad option, just because you do have that armor, and as soon as the move cancels, you're free to jump or move around, do whatever you need to do. It's just, yeah, if the opponent's already preemptively expecting you to do it, that's when it's really not that good of an option, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, there's pros and cons to it, which I'll go over here in a sec. But for right now, I'm basically gonna give like another little lightning round on how to do it on certain stages, like I said, with platforms near the ledges and whatnot, because majority of the time I'm jumping from the ledge and side being to the closest platform, so I'm not really going over like how to do it just if you're already in the air and you're trying to recover back to the stage and just skip the whole ledge trap scenario in general. It's not really like a get out of jail free card or anything like that. I'm specifically just going over like if you're already hanging from the ledge and you're using it as an option out of jumping from the ledge. And the main thing I'm explaining with the different stages is basically things like how far back you have to move after jumping from the ledge, or how early you need to input the side B, or if you need to move forward after jumping from the ledge, things like that. Again, which I'll go over here in a sec. So yeah, this is purely just going to be an option from jumping from the ledge and using the mobility and the armor to just get back to center stage basically. So as for the list of stages you can perform this on, the list I have is Battlefield, Small Battlefield, Yoshi's Story from, I think it was Melee, yeah, the Melee version. Lilac, Unova, Stadium 1 and 2, and Smashville. And it can also work on Warioware, but I'm gonna cover that one towards the end of the video. I know that's generally not a legal stage in most areas. I know it's usually like a gentleman pick, but I was gonna just skip over it and not really go over it, but yeah, looking online and just seeing how many well, not how many people go to it, but I guess just the general consensus of it. It's still a rare pick here and there, so, or at least apparently it is. I personally haven't seen it too often. But me personally, yeah, if they'd agree to it, I'd definitely try to take someone there to cheese them with electroshock or something. Of course, I'm also taking the same risk, but yeah, that's just my views on the stage personally. But yeah, main stages: Battlefield, Small Battlefield, Yoshi's Story, Melee, Lilac, Unova, Stadium 1 and 2, and Smashville. And of course, there's also Yoshi's Brawl, but the way it's set up, you can't even roll off the ledge and do a ledge cancel because of the slant. And then like the way the main platform is set up in the middle, most of the time I don't even bother with trying to perform it on that stage personally. And then of course on FD, you don't really have any platforms to work with. And Kalos, it's a bit interesting. You can't really like jump from ledge and perform it, which is why I'm not really going over it. But it's still definitely something to consider if you want to have a different escape route. Like if you get launched off stage and you're trying to recover back and you want to use the platform to side B ledge cancel, but like just above the ledge instead of going to the ledge and make an attempt at escaping the whole ledge trap scenario. I could definitely see that being a viable option, but yeah, not really something that you can do off of a ledge jump. So again, I'm not really going to cover that. And same thing with Town and City. With the way the platforms are set up, I mean, they go in and out, and then when they are there, it's not really like the most practical thing to do. So yeah, those are going to be the only stages I'm really omitting from the list. So yeah, starting off with Battlefield. Now with Battlefield, there's 3 different ways you can do this. You can either just jump from ledge without moving the L stick at all and time the input for whenever Pit's feet reach above the platform. And at that point, you'd be in prime position to go ahead and do the ledge cancel. The timing is a little specific because when I say there's 3 ways to do it, you have just the jump from ledge and into side B, and then you can also jump from ledge and move back with the L stick. And if you move back with it, you'll have to wait till like the apex of your jump because you're creating more distance between you and the edge of the platform. And if you move forward with it, you'll have to, you're basically closing the gap between Pit and the edge of the platform. So you'll have to input the side B like as soon as his feet reach above the platform. And it's probably the most viable method since you're moving forward and getting through the side B animation, the fastest basically, instead of lingering in the air and then, basically drawing out the side B animation. If you jump and move forward and again just input the side B as soon as Pit's feet are above the platform, that's actually the fastest way to go ahead and get out of the corner as opposed to just regular jumping, which also still works just as well, but it just takes a little bit more time. So you'll definitely want to keep how long you're spending on the ledge cancel in mind, because again, the move in the air is still pretty slow. It's fairly telegraphed. So yeah, I personally like to move forward on the L stick while I'm jumping off the ledge, and again just input the side B as soon as Pit's feet are above the platform. And the same principles apply to Small Battlefield, except Small Battlefield's platforms are slightly further away from the ledge, while the main stage, the size of it is pretty much exactly the same. So the timing for the side B is just a little later. Like I noticed a few times after Pit's feet, as soon as they were above the platform, I would input side B, and I would still get stuck on the platform sometimes because I was basically timing it the exact same way I was doing it on regular Battlefield. So yeah, you do have to keep in mind that the platforms are just a little bit further out from the ledge. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty much the exact same principles as Battlefield. You can jump side B, you can jump, hold back, and then wait until you hit the apex of the jump to side B, or you can jump while moving forward and again just input side B as soon as his feet are above the platform, but not as soon as you would do it on regular Battlefield. So that's the only difference with that. And as for both the stadium stages, they pretty much work exactly the same. Again, same principles with the previous 2 stages apply here, except the platforms are a lot further away from the ledge than they are on Battlefield. So moving back and waiting for Pit to hit the apex of his jump to input side B isn't really an option. Yeah, because by the time you move back and get to the apex of your jump, you're going to be too far away to cancel it. So in most cases, yeah, you just want to go ahead and either jump normally and try to cancel it, or you can just jump moving forward, which again, I believe would be the best, the fastest method of going ahead and getting off the ledge and getting back to center stage as soon as possible. Now Smashville can be a little tricky because I mean obviously with the way the main platform is set up in the middle, and of course this is assuming you're playing with hazards off, which I noticed. I don't know. When it comes to Smashville, I rarely see the main platform moving. So I'm guessing 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be stationary. And in most of my games, if not all of them, it's always stationary. So the timing of when you input the side B after jumping from the ledge is a lot different from the previously mentioned stages, but it's still very possible. What I do to get it while moving forward after the jump is I'll jump, and then at the apex of the first jump, the one I used to get off the ledge, I'll input double jump with the side B, and that gives me just enough distance to basically go ahead and get the cancel all the way on the other side of the stage at that point. Alright, next up are Lilac and Unova. Now I'm pairing these two together because they have similar principles. The platforms are just so close to the ledge that normal jump or jumping while moving forward isn't really an option for you. They're so close, you pretty much have to move back on the L stick with the jump from the ledge in order to put enough distance between pit and the ledge of the platform in order to cancel the side B. And because of that, it does make the side B ledge cancel on these stages in particular a little less viable, because you're spending more time in the air moving backwards. So it's not only going to make the move just a bit more telegraphed, but because the platforms are just so close to the ledge, you're not really getting back to the center stage either. But they're still really useful if your opponent's still thinking they got you in a ledge trap scenario, and you can either just get behind them or just avoid them entirely by just going over them. And in my example with Lilac here, in Training Room you can't turn off hazards, so Lilac is tilting in the footage that I'm showcasing here, but in most cases hazards are off, so Lilac will pretty much always be stationary whenever you attempt this, which definitely makes it a lot easier. I was definitely having a little issues myself creating the right amount of distance between pit and the platform to successfully perform the ledge cancel, only for the stage to tilt slightly downward or upward and basically just mess up my whole little process here. So but like I said, in most competitive formats hazards are off, so you really won't even be worried about that. But other than that, like I said, the platforms are just really close to the ledge, so you do have to keep in mind you can't really jump without moving backwards just a bit in order to cancel the side B. So it makes it a little less viable. You gotta hang in the air a bit longer, but it's still a pretty good option if the opponent's just not expecting it, or you're able to just get away with it somehow. Alright, and last but not least is Warioware. Again, probably not something you're ever gonna really encounter too often, but it is somewhat of an option, just because the platforms are at the ledge, but even if you are on the stage, to be honest, it's ultimately kind of counterintuitive to try to escape the ledge via the ledge cancel option, at least in this case, just because the platforms are so far back that Pit would have to move as far back as possible, basically ended up back off stage, and by the time you're in position for the ledge cancel, it almost kind of defeats the purpose of just trying to get back to the stage. The stage itself is so small. So this one's really weird. I didn't really want to just omit it and not cover it, but again, the general consensus on this stage I'm still not entirely clear on. I know majority of people that play competitive don't really fuck with the stage like that, but like I said, me personally, if my opponent is willing to, I definitely wouldn't mind just taking a gentleman there myself, but that's just me personally. Alright, so having gone over all the various stages that it works on and how to do it, I'm not going to go over all the the pros and cons to this. I guess I don't really know if I'd call it a technique necessarily, but yeah, I guess this method of recovery slash getting back to the center of the stage. Yeah, well, I've already mentioned most of the pros throughout the video. Yeah, the only real cons is, like I said, it can be pretty telegraphed, and most people, after, or at least from my experience, after I perform it a couple of times, people start catching on and they could start preemptively looking for it. But that's also an advantage in itself. It just adds one more option that your opponent's gonna have to be on the lookout for if they're not ready for it. Some characters might be able to punish it upon reaction. I know a friend of mine that plays Fox pretty often, and really just fast characters in general, like Fox, Greninja, Sheik. Yeah, he's often able to just punish it upon reaction. So that's probably the biggest weakness to it, is definitely anyone that can get a good solid punish from below you, and if they're just looking out for it, yeah, it's not that hard to punish. But again, it's not really this wasn't really anything like too out there. I just wanted to briefly go over it and how I implement it in my gameplay, since it's something I don't really see too often. And that's pretty much everything to it. Like I said, there's nothing really in depth about it. Yeah, it's pretty easy to implement. Only thing is, it's pretty risky as well. So yeah, I hope I was able to bring something to light to any of you that may not have known about Side B ledge cancel, or known about it and were just struggling on finding ways to implement it. So yeah, if you got any feedback for me, please let me know. I'm always open for any sort of criticism, and I'm always trying to improve with the character myself as well. So yeah, I just hope I can help you guys out and vice versa. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I was gonna say see you in my next video, but yeah, we'll just have to see when that is. I always say hopefully it ain't gonna be another 6 months or whatever down the line. But hey, I mean, like I say, I just make the videos whenever I get the chance. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. Other than that, yeah, just thanks again for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.